It's like the more I rewatched the show and the more I did analysis videos, the more I read through the comments, I realized there was a general favoritism towards the lighter skinned characters.
No. But you didn't give me a chance to. No.
Hey, Penny.
What? Can't swim. Oh. Hey, Dante. He didn't splash you, did he?
I'm cool.
If it wasn't for Tony.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning back in. I'm back with another Proud Family analysis video, and this is going to be about a general topic, a general theme, something I've noticed, something a lot of people have noticed, and I see that a lot in the comments, and I just wanted to bring it all together in one topic, in one video, so we can all discuss it. Now, we know, most of us know, there's been many videos about this, the colorism in the Proud Family, from the writers, from the animators, and just watching different episodes from the original series, you get to see the different ways that lighter skinned characters were kind of put on a pedestal, right? And to be fair, there were many episodes, because I know somebody's going to be in the comments like, oh, but what about this episode but what about that episode when not every episode the darker skinned characters were like trashed, you know, and made fun of. But when you compare it, it's like the lighter skinned characters were obviously more favored.
Sometimes.
Always?
Not always, no. Sometimes. That means sometimes.
And mind you, this was the early 2000s. At that time, these were the ideals from the writers, from the producers, from the animators. And when you think about it like this, right? You think of a storyline, you think of the plot. It takes months to produce one episode of these shows, especially back then, right? And you think about the character, what you want this character to do, how you want this character to look. When you think about how much time and all the ideas they had to come up with these designs for the characters, right? One of the major components of the show, being a black show, being with black characters, is coming up with what shade, what skin tone is such and such character going to be. And when you think about what characters they decided to make light, what characters they decided to make darker, browner, what characters they decided to make mid-tone, those decisions were done on purpose.
What's the matter with you? This woman is perfect.
I agree.
Because you see, throughout time, there's been a thing with black family sitcoms where if you could cast a lighter skinned actress or actor, why not, right? Specifically in the mother or daughter roles. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. If y'all know the show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith, this was early 90s. Aunt Viv was a dark-skinned character. She was like the mother figure of the show. When they recasted her, all of a sudden she was a light-skinned woman. A few years later, 2000s, the early 2000s, right around the same time Proud Family was out, My Wife and Kids was another black family sitcom. The daughter, Claire, was a dark-skinned girl. When they had to recast her, she was light-skinned. So there's always been this thing where if you can get the daughter or the mother to be light-skinned, that was the top choice. And as a disclaimer, this is not meant to be like a video bashing, you know, light-skinned characters, or me hoping and wishing that every light-skinned character in the Proud Family gets done badly, treated badly, have, you know, horrible storylines. But it's something about watching these old episodes that makes me want to really get into this observational commentary. That's all it really is, just observational commentary of this popular Disney show that featured a black animated family. But for a show that was so, you know, rooted in being groundbreaking and trying to break the stereotypes, they often perpetuated them. And this has been a thing we talked about for a long time. I've seen articles and other videos and deep dives about it. I'm just making my own version of it, and I know that a lot of people have similar ideals, and I know y'all gonna have a lot to say in the comments. And this brings me to the Proud Family, where you have Trudy, the light-skinned mother, with Oscar, the dark-skinned father. And what are the differences? Trudy is, you know, considered to be beautiful, well-to-do. She got her stuff together. She has a job. She's the breadwinner of the family, right? And she comes from a classy, rich, bougie type background. And she's level-headed most of the time. She got her stuff together. She's seen in a high regard.
All you do is sit on that couch all day long and whine.
Marriage is supposed to be about supporting your man.
Well, baby,
I think my paycheck does that every week.
Oscar, on the other hand, the dark-skinned father, is goofy, rambunctious, considered lazy, unsuccessful. Even back then with the whole thing where he was a basketball player and he failed and Wizard Kelly took his place. The dark-skinned black father figure of the show, but he's considered a joke. Nobody takes him seriously. Not his mother, his kids, or his wife most of the time. And the other minor characters in the show, he's like the laughingstock of the show.
Come on, Oscar, get cleaned up. Now you know how my father feels about television.
Yeah, the same way he feels about me. A waste of time.
Oh, stop acting like a baby. Be a man.
I'm making money. That's what I'm making.
With the dark-skinned characters, I'm gonna get into like Oscar, Dejanay, the Gross Sisters, Maya, Myron. I've made videos about each of them doing character analysis. I'm gonna leave the links up here, the playlist up here, so y'all can see like really get into these character deep dives. Even in animation, in this animated series of the Proud Family, early 2000s, making the mother of the show light skin was intentional because that was seen as like a top choice. Or in some regards, right, it could be seen as more marketable. And as you know, another thing that made me realize this is I've gotten a lot of comments when I do videos about Trudy or Penny or like, different things like that, where a lot of people will say, oh, some people that watch the show internationally or people when they were younger say, oh, I always thought Trudy was mixed race. I always thought Penny was mixed race. I always thought Trudy, somebody even said they thought Trudy was Asian. Because the way they designed her, with her features and her skin tone, some people didn't even know Trudy was supposed to be black. They thought she was another race or she was mixed. And I'm like, wow. And another thing with Penny, I was watching an interview with Bruce Smith, the creator of the show. You know how Penny's skin tone is now. He said when he first designed her, she was like a few shades lighter than that. So when he pitched the show, he pitched it to like the executives at Disney. They didn't even know that Penny was supposed to be black. So he had to dial it back and make her a few shades, tanner. I'm just like,
Oh my God.
so there's people that'll be like, oh, light skin favoritism, but oh, they had Penny doing all these things. Penny was treated so wrong. Penny this, Penny that. But at the end of the day, the biggest favoritism of it all is making the main protagonist of the show light skin. Because you think about it, if the main protagonist was Dejanay, the dark-skinned ratchet sidekick best friend, with her 8 brothers and sisters, would the show have been as successful?
Dejanay, when you gonna get your own room? When the 4 of them go to college?
The name is Tabasco, aight? You better recognize.
Do you think he would have successfully pitched it to Disney if Dejanay was the main protagonist of the show? Just think about it. So along with these ideals of having the lighter skinned characters have more favorable attributes, it makes me wonder, like, was this implicit bias? Was it intentional satire? Was it all of the above? Like, what was it? Now, another thing I want to hit on with the Proud Family series is that they know what they're doing. When they do these designs, they intentionally make it because, like I said, it reflects real life and memories and thoughts I have. And just, I know a lot of people watching can relate to the certain episodes and certain components of the show, especially the original. But when they do certain designs, it makes sense. Because I've talked about it many times. We all know the colorism episode with the Noah character, right?
Noah Barker from Honor Things? Oh, he is so cute. I'm gonna need a new dress because I know he's picking me.
Keep in mind, both Penny and Dejanay already have boyfriends, but I guess they just don't compare to Noah, who they find more desirable and attractive.
Old school. Boy, bye.
Noah subtly makes a grand entrance, and I want to key in on how the producers knew to make him light-skinned with lighter eyes and curly hair. As in the black community, that's considered the genetic jackpot to some. Even compared to Kareem and Darius, Penny and Dejanay's boyfriends with darker skin tones. Darius even having lighter eyes himself. That's not the first time they designed a character like him where all the girls had a crush on him and he was seen as like the ultimate attractive guy in the show. In the original series, they had a character named Dante who was lighter skinned. He had the light eyes, he had the deep, very white, baritone type voice.
There's Dante. Oh, he is so cute. I can't believe I'm not there.
Okay, now there's guys in real life that have that same type of look. But you always see how when they always wanted to have like a top attractive guy, they gave him that light skin, light eye type of look.
I was wondering if a brother could get your home digits. Sure you right.
You sure can.
And look at this scene I'm about to show y'all, where she meets Dante at the pool party. Myron is next to her, and she kind of just pushes him to the side, and he's like a throwaway. With Dante, she's blushing.
Hey, Penny.
What? Oh, hey, Dante.
I'm glad you came, Penny.
Really?
Yeah.
The light-skinned guy with the light eyes, she has a crush on him. He's an attractive one. He makes her blush. The dark-skinned, unattractive nerd with the big glasses and buck teeth, he doesn't matter. He's unimportant.
Would you like to see the exhibit at the end of my wrist?
Don't have to get violent. Sheesh.
Then we even get into the episode where it discussed fat phobia. I talked about this episode too with Carlos. Remember Carlos? He was the guy that none of them wanted to date.
Check out Gordito.
Girl, I thought he was one of the rides. He's not my date. He's not mine either. He's not my date. Don't need him. That's okay.
Do we go to the food court? I'm hungry.
What's another trope they did with him? You see how they made Carlos a dark-skinned character? To go into that fat, black, and ugly trope. Now, some of y'all might be thinking I'm thinking too deep into this, or I'm reaching, or
Like it's not that serious.
it's just coincidence that he was not only fat, but dark-skinned, and then considered to the girls, you know, Penny and her friends, not attractive, that they were scrambling trying to get everybody else but him. Wasn't directly stated. The main premise of the episode was him being a fat character and the complications and jokes and fat shaming and fat phobia that comes along with that. But they made him dark-skinned on purpose because that even added to it. If he was a light-skinned, fatter character, it would have been not as effective in their eyes. Even going back to Penny's friend group, I'm talking about like the lighter-skinned characters, not Zoe because she was a white character. And you know, I made my whole video about Zoe. If y'all didn't see that, check it out up here, and I believe it in the description box down below. But compared to even La Cienega versus a Dejanay, right? In the original series, La Cienega was seen as mean and prissy and all that, right? But she was still the pretty and popular one. They gave that to her character. She lived wealthy. She lived in a nice house. She wore like nice fitting clothes. Compared to Dejanay, busting out her shirt, ratchet. Nobody really wanted her. Nobody really wanted to date her. The one guy that she was after, Sticky, just despised her.
I'm already tied to my man, Sticky.
Oh, no, you're not.
You look so fly.
Good suggestion, DJ.
He's just playing. He knows he likes me. Sticky, come in.
Another thing with Dejanay and Sticky, right? Y'all notice I said this before. Sticky didn't want nothing to do with Dejanay. He always ran away from her. Dejanay's affection towards him didn't matter until she was giving it to Duke, the lighter-skinned character with the dreadlocks. Did you ever notice that?
If it were me, I certainly would have kissed you.
Dejanay.
So what's up with you and Duke?
Nanya, he's my new man. Here too.
He didn't see the value in Dejanay until a lighter-skinned guy liked her. And I know a lot of people could be saying, oh, that's just coincidence. It could have been any character that liked her or whatever. But they had it like that on purpose. The lighter-skinned guy with the dreadlocks, Duke, right? He's approaching Dejanay. He likes Dejanay. She's not chasing after him. He likes Dejanay. And then, you know, eventually she can't get over Sticky. She goes with Duke and they begin dating. And then all of a sudden, Sticky is like, wow. Now, I don't have nobody chasing me. Dejanay was the only one that was really attracted to me in that sense. Now she's with this other guy. Okay, maybe her affection wasn't so bad. It took a light-skinned guy showing her affection for you to appreciate the affection she always gave you. Even though it was a bit exaggerated, you know, that's the whole thing with the Proud Family. It was exaggerated. It was a bit to the extreme. But you would think he would have been happy the way he treated her. But Dejanay being with Duke only made Sticky jealous. This is another one. I've talked about this too recently. The last episode review I did With Trudy felt replaced, she felt useless because they hired this new babysitter. But how did the babysitter look when Oscar first saw her? You see how she had the spotlight on her, like she was like the new, young, attractive version of Trudy. They made sure to make her light skin, right? And like emphasize her beauty with that spotlight. And then you think about the episode where they had the Thingy character, where they was trying to get Thingy for the BB and CC's birthday party, and Vanessa Williams, singer and actress, guest starred as Deborah Williams, the character that was Oscar's and Trudy's old college friend. But when they first showed her, what did they do?
Deborah? Deborah Williams?
The bells and whistles, emphasizing her attractiveness on the show as a lighter skinned character with lighter eyes. As, you know, Vanessa Williams looks in real life. When they had the darker skinned characters, the darker skinned women on the show, when they introduced them, they didn't have no type of introductions like that. Every time there was a lighter skinned woman with a certain figure, certain features, they made sure to emphasize, woo, like, look how attractive she is. Never did that with the dark skinned woman on the show. Now this is animation. A lot of people might say, oh, it don't matter, this is for children, it's childish, it's this, it's that. A lot of people might not take it seriously because it was an animated Disney show from over 20 odd years ago. But when you look at these things, you observe the episodes, you look at them critically, analytically, without just looking at it, you know, for background noise, watching it aimlessly, you see these observations that can't be ignored. A major reason why I'm doing this video is because, you know, it's great to look at these shows years later and pick up on things that you didn't because you were a little kid watching it. You know, as an adult watching these things, you'd be like, wow. And I don't care. I'm one of those people that, I'm one of those adults that I still like to watch those older cartoons that could be seen as childish. Like, you know, I still watch Arthur, I still watch Hey Arnold. But when you look at those episodes, some of them you can still relate to. So it's just like, they had those messages. There wasn't like, you know, Blue's Clues or Dora that was like really aimed towards little kids. Arthur, Hey Arnold, Proud Family. These were shows where it had something for everybody. Like, all ages could watch these shows and pick up on things from them and learn from them. Now, sometimes the execution with the Proud Family wasn't always the best. And even in the reboot, still isn't always the best. But that's why I'm doing this video, because I'm hoping for season 3 of the reboot. They didn't release no trailer yet as of this recording. I'm hoping that they finally get it together, because when they have the goofy, zany episodes, it's like, okay, it is what it is, just a little fun episode. But when they get into the episodes that's like a political or social issue that has something to do with like race or this or that, sometimes they don't get it right.
Sometimes.
Always?
Not always, no. Sometimes. That means sometimes.
Like, especially with that colorism episode with Noah and how they all hated Zoe because he liked her because she was white, right? It's like they have the right ingredients, but the final outcome doesn't always leave the best taste in people's mouths. You know what I'm saying?
Where's the flavor? Where's the flavor in this?
I just feel like for this current season, this new season of the Proud Family reboot coming up, the writers of the show gotta stay off Twitter, because I feel like they go on Twitter and they use like the verbiage and they try to use different debates and discussions from Twitter and the terms and the Twitter discourse, and that influences the way these episodes come out. There's ways of writing episodes of the Proud Family that's not going to offend a whole race, ethnic group, skin tone, body type, religion. Shows like Hey Arnold and Arthur did it all the time.
Sure you right.
And at the end of the day, a show like the Proud Family that's centered around a black family, and you know, they have other races, other ethnic groups, and other storylines to make it more diverse. The skin tones of the characters shouldn't matter, but it's hard to ignore it when obviously they wanted to. Even something like skin tone with the lighter skin characters, you can see that they were placed more often than not in more favorable positions in the episodes throughout the first 3 seasons of the original series. And I'm just hoping that in this new reboot season, they executed better than that. And there's probably many examples of them favoring light-skinned characters that I might have missed out on, or I might have forgot, or I might have didn't mention. If you know something that I didn't mention, leave it down below. Or what are your thoughts on the Proud Family favoring light-skinned characters for the bulk of the original series, and even in the new one? Like I always say with these analysis episodes, it's okay to just watch these shows for fun, but sometimes you gotta watch them and be like, what was the message behind this? What was the idea behind this? What was the intention behind this, right? And I really want to know your thoughts on them favoring the light-skinned characters. Do y'all agree with me? Do y'all not? Do you think it was just coincidence? Do you not care? You think, oh, it's just a children's show? But when you think about it, a show like the Proud Family, they did a lot of things on purpose, like favoring the light-skinned characters. And I really want to know your thoughts about it. Please let me know your thoughts down below. I can't wait to read your comments, get this discussion going, because I've seen these comments in many of my other videos. Now that we're talking about it as the main topic, I know y'all gonna have a lot to say. With that, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.